All right, you guys. We are now going to begin our PowerPoint presentation, Introduction to Into the Wild. I want to thank you all for completing your pre-assessments. They will help you, and not just me, help you identify your beliefs and interests and values when it comes to the concepts we will be covering in this informational text called Into the Wild by Jon Crowker. My name is Miss Morlock, as you all know, and this is your 11th grade English Language Arts class. Today is October 14th, 2020. I would like to start with an overview which outlines the information we will be going over in this presentation. First, we will identify our objectives, our academic and social emotional objectives for this unit of study. We will delve into some background knowledge, some context for the informational text we will be examining. Then we will answer the question, so what? Why do we care? Why are we reading this text? Why does any of this matter? Will I be using this later? Following that, we will identify the main individual in the text. Who is Chris McCandless? He is a real person who had real feelings and motivations and led a life that has become quite memorable to the entire world. Next, we will delve into who is Jon Crowker, who is the journalist who wrote Into the Wild. Next, we will watch a short video that was conducted by ABC News 2020 following the life of Chris McCandless and interviewing the journalist Jon Crowker. And we will end today with our individual journal prompt. I will give you guys a prompt and you will thoughtfully respond, and I will collect those at the end of the day in your Google Docs. Objectives. Our first academic objective is I want you all to analyze a complex set of ideas or sequences of events. So while we are reading Into the Wild, we are going to analyze the ideas that the text presents and the sequences of events that transpire in the text. What are the big ideas? What are the essential questions? And what is actually happening in the text? Secondly, we're going to discuss how the people in the text who have ideas influence the events that happen. What is the relationship between the individuals who have ideas and the events that transpire? Finally, we're going to explain how these people who have ideas and the events that follow develop over the course of the text. How do they evolve, or maybe do not evolve? We also have a set of social emotional objectives. I want you all to identify your beliefs. What are your thoughts about the relationship between the individual, which could be you, or it could just be human beings at large? What is the relationship between the individual to nature, to the natural world? What is our responsibility? What is our role to nature? And furthermore, also to society, to the collective that we belong to. And finally, what is the idea of success? What is success for you? What is success for your parents, for me, for your other teachers, for your coaches, for society at large? Secondly, we're going to exchange the ideas, these beliefs that you identified, and you're going to talk about it with your peers. And we're going to talk about it in a way that is respectful, adhering to our classroom ground rules, which we have established earlier in the year. How to respectfully posit your opinion to somebody that may not have the same beliefs that you do. So we're going to do this all using academic language. Finally, we will identify and set academic and social emotional goals for the year. So we're going to think about, maybe I want to get better at making PowerPoints, or maybe I want to strengthen my vocabulary. What are some academic goals that you can set for yourself this year? And also, what are some social emotional goals that you can set for the year? Maybe you want to be more courageous, more comfortable when you're public speaking. Maybe you want to try something new, have a new hobby, make some new friends. So we will identify those, and then we will formulate a plan to make them happen. Background knowledge. So first and foremost, guys, I wanted to give you a heads up and give you the APA citation for the text. You will all be needing this no matter what you decide to do for your final project, whether it's a PowerPoint or an essay or a podcast. I want to see this somewhere. Into the Wild is a work of nonfiction. Who can tell me what nonfiction is? You can type it into the box or speak into your microphone. Yes, correct. Nonfiction is an informational text that is based on real events and individuals. Into the Wild was first a 9,000-word article written by John Crowaker himself on Chris McCandless. The article was called Death of an Innocent, and it was featured in the 1993 January issue of Outside. Now we can probably infer that Outside is a nature-related magazine, can we not? The story was so worldly renowned that it was adapted into a film in 2007, directed by Sean Penn, starring Emile Hirsch. We will be watching the film later in this unit of study. And finally, it is an international bestseller, printed in 30 languages, and there's 173 editions and formats. So what? Why does any of this matter? Why are we learning this? Well, first and foremost, this is a true story. This happened. This isn't some fictional story, some make-believe. This really happened to people in the world. Secondly, there's some big ideas that we got to chew off here that you're going to see featured in this novel. Some real big ideas that you're going to face in your own lives. If, of course, you are now, and especially later. We have, for instance, the individual and society. The relationship between what our role is in our communities. We also have the relationship of us to nature. What is our moral responsibility to taking care of this planet? Is it here for us to use at our own expense, or are we supposed to protect it? We also have society and nature. What is the relationship between the two? And finally, we have the ideas of success versus happiness. Are they related? Do they coincide? What is success and happiness? So who is Chris McCandless? His real name is Christopher Johnson McCandless, although in the text you will see that he adopted a pseudonym being a different name for somebody. He grew up in suburban Annandale, Virginia, to a wealthy family. Graduated from Emory University in May 1990 with high grades. He graduated with honors. After he graduated, he ceased communicating with his family, gave away his college fund of $24,500 to Oxfam, which is a famine nonprofit, and he began traveling across the western United States. Finally, and I don't know if this... On April 28, 1992, McCandless hitchhiked to the Stampede Trail in Alaska. And finally, spoiler alert, he died at age 24, sometime around August 19th, 1992. Sorry guys, I think my face is kind of getting dark over here. Hold on one moment. That is a little better. And next slide. Who is John Crowaker? John Crowaker was born April 12th, 1954. He is 66. This isn't something that you guys need to be overly concerned about. I just want to give you some context about who he is. He is an American writer and mountaineer, fisherman, and carpenter. He was a journalist for Outside Magazine. He also appeared in Architectural Digest, National Geographic, the Smithsonian, and the Rolling Stone. All big, big publications. After college, he spent 5 weeks alone in the Alaskan wilderness. So, in a way, he shares this affinity for the wilderness, much like Chris McCandless, especially in Alaska. Start thinking about maybe why he decided to write this book. Maybe he saw himself in Chris McCandless. He was a survivor of the 1996 Mount Everest disaster. There was a huge blizzard and 8 people died summiting Mount Everest. Okay, and we are going to now watch the video, ABC's TV show 2020. This was aired on May 30th, 1997. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it is about 17 minutes long, but I will give you guys the link in case you want to watch it on your own. So, here we go.